We tackle opposition politics on Third Degree. Coming up, an in-depth interview with Rampele, who tells us what she's got that the ANC hasn't. Helen Ziller reveals that she was prepared to step aside for Rampele to lead the DA. Why did she turn this down? And what exactly does it take to launch a new political party? We speak to branding experts. Well, we now have in South Africa a new political platform called eNCA. But even before Dr. Rampele had made this announcement, commentators were shooting it down. We spent time at her Cape Town home getting a deeper insight into the 65-year-old doctor, now turned politician. The women's jail at Johannesburg's Old Fort Prison, a monument to the sacrifices of women who fought against apartheid. A carefully chosen venue. It sends a provocative message. Struggle veteran Rampele wants to reignite the dreams of the past when she takes on the ANC in next year's election.
We are going to mobilize citizens who share this passion, and they are in their millions, to be able to come behind this, shape this platform into an effective machinery that can be able to fight the 2014 election and win.
Dr. Rampele has been part of the fabric of South Africa both pre- and post-apartheid. She has impeccable struggle credentials. Her lover was Steve Biko. She bore 2 of his children. Former comrades remember her as incredibly beautiful, feisty, opinionated, someone who bucked conventions, including what was seen then as the outrageous act of smoking in the 70s.
To be a change agent, you must be prepared to walk where others fear to walk. Now, the smoking was just, at that time, the way of demonstrating my fearlessness and my willingness to go against convention. But today, thank God, we live in a free country. We don't have to be outrageous to be heard. You just have to have your voice properly modulated and articulate.
Biko was murdered in detention by apartheid security police. She has never got over the loss of the man she describes as the love of her life.
How do you get over losing a human being? You can't. And it never happens. It's not like a flu, you get over flu. You just incorporate the pain into your life and you focus on celebrating the privilege you had of sharing his life.
Together they pioneered the black consciousness movement of the 70s. So what would Biko think of eNCA?
I wish I knew, I wish I could have a conversation with him, but it's very clear that there is an element of continuity between what we did together as young students then, when this country was stuck in a mode of fear, of helplessness, powerlessness, and the black consciousness movement reignited people's passion and their sense of it is possible to fight for freedom. June 1976 would not have happened without that reawakening. And it is possible again to go back to changing South Africa's mindset, not as an effort of one person or one movement, but as a collective effort.
Political commentators have been quick to criticize eNCA, but Adam Habib believes she is the real deal.
As far back as the 1970s, she was one of the founding members of the Black Consciousness Movement. She was at least banished to King Williamstown. She played a particularly important role in building clinics in rural areas. So she's somebody who's got an incredible pedigree, liberation pedigree, and somebody is not somebody who's just come lately. There are many people who've suggested that she cannot connect with poor people. Well, I think if you go back in her own history, that she was able to connect with more people. I do, however, think that she has challenges, and they are big challenges for eNCA.
Prior to the launch of Agang, it was widely speculated that Ramphele would join Helen Zille's DA. An offer the Western Cape Premier told us Ramphele refused.
Now, because I can't see any fundamental differences in the political philosophy behind Agang, and because I know how Ramphele approaches issues in the same ideological space as we do, everyone knows that I offered to step back from the leadership of the DA and enable her to stand for election as the leader of the DA. I thought we were very close to that agreement, but unfortunately she wanted to go another route, and now she has to make her space in that. Yes, of course I was disappointed. I was very disappointed, because after speaking for many, many months and after having many documents that spelt out how we were going forward, she made another decision. Obviously I was disappointed.
I don't think it is a smart thing for anybody to do, whether it's in the public sector or the private sector. When you are in negotiations with people, you don't discuss that in an interview such as this. What Helen said or is said to have said is not really something that we're going to focus on right now. That's not really relevant now. The point which is relevant is that we will be having conversations with her, with all of the other political players, and we are not in this game for purposes of so-and-so becoming a leader or the other person becoming a leader. That's irrelevant. What is relevant is putting the country first and working together to make the country realize its full potential.
But Zille says organising a political party is a complex matter.
Political parties, if they have got a good infrastructure and even if they started with a good political philosophy, develop a brand. And the brand is enormously powerful. And political parties can lose a lot before they lose their brand. But if they lose a coherence in a political philosophy, they will die out. Helen Suzman started as a one-person party effectively. She had 6 or 7 people around her, but very small. And after 50 years, the DA looks like what it looks like today. So it's not impossible for it to succeed. But it takes a very profound, coherent political philosophy at the base of it to build everything else.
Habib believes Agang's decision not to join the DA presents them with some serious obstacles.
Her problem is that she needs what the DA has, which is a national organizational structure. Her problem, however, is she can't have the DA because the DA comes with an image problem. It is seen and perceived as a party of the rich, whether fairly or not. And she's very well aware of that. So what you need is the organizational infrastructure of the DA without of its leadership and without its image. That's, if you like, the big conundrum of opposition politics in South Africa.
So given all of this, would it not have been a better idea for Ramphele to join the DA?
Why don't you wait and see what evolves? We are only a few weeks old, and we have a game plan of how to deal with the challenges of having something new only 14 months away from the next election. Wait for us and see what happens.
Coming up, it's one thing to criticise eloquently, but does Ramphele have policy solutions?